Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOXE. I'm Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director, Sammy Burnett. How are you today, sir?
I'm actually doing quite well, Stuckley. How are you?
That's great. You have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend. I thought I was going to freeze to death on Friday, but I made it through it. But Saturday was a wonderful day, and then yesterday was gorgeous. Had some time to do some stuff around the house, so it was a good weekend.
Yeah, but Thursday we like to cook over in Abilene.
Yes, we did.
And Friday you like to froze to death.
And then Saturday got warm again. So.
Texas weather.
That's right.
All right. Well, a successful weekend for Brownwood Lions and Lady Lions athletics, so I'll just let you get to it, sir.
You bet. We'll start with ladies softball. Took on Levelland in Abilene. Were victorious in game 1, 6-2. Had a couple of home runs by both teams in that game. Our girls fought hard and took the lead 2-1, and then I think it was the sixth inning, I think it was, that Levelland tied it up. And we went ahead and put 4 runs on the board in the top of the seventh and wound up winning that game 6-2. And, of course, I left that game and went to Lubbock to get ready for regional track. And the reports I got back from softball, which I think you were at, little catcher Chloe Wall had an outstanding day with a 3-run homer and a grand slam. That's 7
Home
RBI.
run derby.
Yeah, a little home run derby. So our girls were victorious 12-0 in that game and advanced to the area round of the playoffs where they'll be facing Crum. We're going to do that Friday. I think that game's going to start at 6 o'clock on Friday and then 1 o'clock on Saturday, and game 3 to follow if needed. That's all the information I have at this time. We're working on sites right now. Have several in place, just waiting on some decisions to be made at the facilities. We're looking at Glen Rhodes as one site. We're looking at Gradeford as another site. We tried Stephenville. We tried Weatherford College, so we're still looking around to. I think their coach is pretty adamant about playing on turf in case of weather, so we're trying to get that solidified. Hopefully that'll be done by tomorrow morning. As soon as I get that information out, I'll get it to you. On the boys' side, boys finished their district season against Glen Rose. Weren't victorious in that game. Didn't hit the ball really well, didn't get anybody past second base, and had a couple mistakes that cost them that game. But they'll rebound. They're going to take on San Angelo Lakeview, who we played already this season and were victorious against. So we have an idea what they're about. That game's going to be home and home. I think the mistake that San Angelo made is they won the flip, so they're going to play the first game at home. I'm the guy that wants to play the second game, and if you needed to have that third game, that rubber game, I would want to play that at home. If you're victorious in the first game, then you get to go home and play that second game. So we actually lost the flip but got what we wanted. So we'll face San Angelo Lakeview. We'll travel to San Angelo on Friday. That game will be at 7 o'clock. We'll come home and play at Moore Southall Field at 3 o'clock. Hopefully we can wrap it up after 2. If not, we'll go to the third game, and that will be probably 30 minutes to follow whenever second game is over, or the first game on Saturday is over. They'd play that third game. So that'll be a home and home game, so I'm excited about that. And see if the boys can advance to the area round. The girls have a chance to advance past that. So look forward to that. Both of them feel they can be successful. And as soon as I get that information on softball, I'll pass that along. Okay. On to regional track. We went to Lubbock, of course, as everybody knows, and we competed in the regional track meet, very competitive track meet. Had an opportunity in the boys in the 4x1 and the 4x2 to advance. Those teams are really strong. It was going to be neck and neck. Those two teams didn't advance, but we had some kids that did. Our girls performed well. I'd like to go through the list and just once again acknowledge our kids that competed in the area track meet. Most of them didn't advance, but I was really pleased with their efforts and how they represented our school on both boys and girls side. Hannah Dean, of course, competed in 5 events at the area meet. Sam Common competed in the discus. He didn't advance, but he finished third. Sam's a kid that his first track meet he threw 92 feet. He went to district and set his PR, which is his best performance, and then went to area and PR'd, and then went to the regional meet and PR'd. He missed going to state by 4 feet. So congratulations to Sam and his efforts. He made it on the podium. Hannah made it on the podium in the triple jump. So she got a third-place medal. It's neat to see those kids get up on that podium and get that UIL award. That's a big deal. Our boys 4x1 consisted of Jordan Nickerson, Jake Jaton, Ike Hall, and Ty Savage. They finished fourth. The 4x2 was Jordan Nickerson, Braden Dobb, Jake Chaton, and Ty Savage. They finished sixth. Sydney Wyndham competed in the 800 and finished sixth. Brycey Lee got seventh in the quarter. Haley Atkins was seventh in the 1600, which is the mile, the one that I would not want to run. Our girls 4x400 meter relay was Kate Tyndall, Sydney Wyndham, Hannah Dean, and Bracey Lee. They finished eighth, and Jake Chaton qualified for the 100, but did not run it. We scratched him from it because we felt it was more important to be rested and try to get the 4x2 in. And so congratulations to them, their efforts and the way they performed, the way they represented the school. On even more positive note, we did have 3 young men and women that will compete at the state track meet. Ike Hall is a regional champion in the long jump. He long jumped 45 feet and 6 inches, I think it was. He did that on his first 2 jumps, so he actually won the meet on his first 2 jumps, which was nice. Hannah Dean finished second in the high jump. She jumped 5, I think it was, and then they went to 5.6, and the girl from Grand Pasture. She was in a position where if they wouldn't have cleared 5.5 or not 5.6, that she would have won the meet because of jumps. And the girl from Graham, who beat her in area, wound up clearing 5.6. She's a real tall, lanky girl, jumps really well. But for Hannah to PR at the regional meet and advance to state in the high jump is really neat for her. Say that, you know, she doesn't really know what she's accomplishing yet because she's a freshman getting to experience it, but she just goes out there and does her thing. And I'm excited for her to get to go to the state meet and perform the high jump. And Ty Savage finished second in the open 200. Very vital part of our track team. He's a senior, and you know, he could run the open 100 if we wanted him to, but he's on 2 relays. And if it wasn't for Ty's anchoring our relays, we wouldn't have a chance to get in anyway. He's a very, very, very good track runner. He works really hard, but to see him get rewarded and get to go to the state track meet in the 200 is a big deal. So I call Hannah Dean and Ty Savage will advance to the state track meet. I think that's Thursday the 11th is when they perform.
We had Hannah and Tyson last week. You can tell they were both excited and felt good about their chances and obviously performed well.
They did. They performed really well. You know, 2 of those, Hannah and Ike, performed on, was it Friday, like trying to keep my days straight, on Friday. And I'm telling you, they competed in the morning, and it was, I think it was like 40-something degrees, but the wind was blowing so hard that it felt like it was in the 20s or the teens. It was miserably cold. It was windy as all get out, and they went out and performed well in those conditions. And, you know, it was take your sweats off and go jump real quick, and then put your sweats back on to try to stay warm. But they performed at the top level in some pretty poor conditions.
Back to softball, of course. Those 2 games last weekend may have been their 2 best games all season long, and this is definitely the right time to be playing your best ball.
Well, you know, you and I got to sit in the dugout and visit during the first game, and I was really, really impressed with the way Leveland swung the bat. They had one young lady that hits in the 2 spot that's extremely powerful, has a bunch of home runs, and we seemed to keep her, you know, in the park. That first game, I thought Tinley Wilson did a great job on the mound. Keeping them off balance. I thought we played great defense. I mean, I'm always excited about their excitement. I mean, they go out there and they're talking it up. They're communicating from the infield to outfield. Everybody knows where the runners are, where we're going with the ball. They're very positive. I listen to Coach Munguia when they come in and they huddle it up before innings and after innings, and the message she sends to them is always a positive message to keep them positive regardless of the situation. And being around those girls the last couple of games real close to them, you know, where I can hear them and watch their interactions. I mean, they don't let anything get them down. They keep fighting to the bitter end, and I really like the culture that they have going on, and I'm excited to see that they're having another opportunity to go out and face a Crum team that's pretty good, and we feel like we can be victorious against them as well. But so, you know, and then I didn't get to see the game. I got some reports, but apparently we hit the ball extremely well.
Yes.
And you could give us a better update on that than I could, but the fact that we held them to no runs, that's a big deal, because I'm telling you, that's one of the better swinging teams I've seen from top to bottom. And I was a baseball coach forever, and I sort of understand the game. But man, to watch those girls swing the bat, they scared me that first game.
Yeah.
You know, because I felt they could blow it open at any time, and we stymied that for 2 games and left there with a 2-0, you know, 2 wins and no loss in that series, which I thought was huge.
Yeah, that second game, Tinley threw a 4-hitter. 2 of the hits came in the last inning. So, opened up the game. Actually, Leveland reached on an error,
Mm-hmm.
and then we played flawless defense the rest of the way. Of course, Chloe had 2 home runs, the grand slam 3-run shot. Kylie Caperton had a home run. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a pretty dominant performance from start to finish.
Well, when even in the first game they had opportunities to score runs, Leveling that is, and we sort of stymied their
Mm-hmm.
rallies. And that goes back to them not worrying about what's going on, just play the next play and getting out when you can get it out. Teams are going to hit the ball for the most part, especially the farther along in the playoffs you get going. It's how you respond to that. They did their job on that play, and we're to go throw strikes and let the defense play behind them. And so far, I've seen them get out of some pickles that could have cost them some big runs, and they'll get out of there with maybe 1-run score or no run score. So. Like I said, it's exciting to watch. They're very positive. They don't let anything bother them. They just get on there and get after it. Now, every once in a while, you see them get onto each other.
Mm-hmm.
That competitive drive comes out, and they're trying to do what they can to win, and that's healthy. So I like everything that I'm seeing that's going on with the girls' program.
All right, well, let's shift gears a little bit, talk a little football.
Yeah, we'll kick off 7-on-7 here in just a minute. I'm going to sprint
Mm-hmm.
right back over there, but our 7-on-7 league starts tonight, 6 o'clock. Out at the high school, you can sit there by Snodgrass and watch the varsity will play there, and then our sub-varsities will play at the track and possibly in the back behind the tennis courts at the soccer field. But we'll have a lot of action going on, a lot of teams coming. It'll be neat to see. I'm excited to see what we have. I think we'll be pretty sound defensively. We got a lot of kids that know what they're doing on that side of the ball. Where we may have a hiccup or two is on the offensive side. We may not, but we'll have some new kids in some new spots, and it's going to be fun for me to get to sit there and evaluate them and see how they handle some success and see how they handle their adversity and how they bounce back from that. So I'm excited about this little league that we have. I think it's important that we do that. Of course, we'll pick up our state qualifiers starting the 20th, going to Justin Northwest, and again, we'll go to Burnett on the 27th. We'll host on the 3rd, and then go to Jim Ned on the 10th, and hopefully we can qualify. If we do, we'll head down on the 22nd of June to College Station and compete in another state qualifying tournament, our state tournament. So that's our goal. We'll see if it happens or not, but we're going to go out there and get after it. And the big thing for us is to throw and catch, get used to each other, understand how we run routes, get acclimated with the new receiving core that he'll have, and then defensively just be sound and play together and play fast as a team and understand where you're going and what you're supposed to be and what your assignment is on every coverage.
Yeah. As far as the new people on offense, I guess how much different is evaluation from practice compared to this 7-on-7 league and 7-on-7 tournaments?
For us, we go out there and compete against each other, but to play against someone else, there's a little bragging rights to that, as kids go, and there's a lot of schools in the surrounding area that are coming to play. Everybody wants to win, and everybody wants to be successful and represent their school. So for us, it gives me an opportunity to see those guys go out there and compete and how they handle competing against someone else. Are they at a level that they're ready to play on Friday night? We'll have some kids out there that are younger that it gives us a chance to look at to see if they're going to be mature enough to handle the pressures that come with playing on Friday night and the speed of the game. And there's some guys that are moving over from the defensive side that have played on Friday night that are going to play on the offensive side and see how they handle the new situation they're in. And there will be some guys on defense that we'll look at to see if, that can step up from the JV and play on the varsity and see if they can handle the speed of the receivers, how they handle it. The big thing for me is how they handle adversities. Are you going to bounce back and play the next play? Are you going to sulk? Are you going to pout? Are you going to get upset and not play within yourself and go out there and play? So I look as much for the maturity side. Are they picking up the system? Do they understand what we're doing defensively? When we go to empty or if they motion, what we're doing with our coverages, are they picking it up? Are they able to process quick enough to go out there and perform offensively, whatever play Ike calls, because he calls all the plays during 7-on-7. What he calls are based on formation. Do they understand the route adjustments? Do they understand the difference between zone and man coverage? What is their responsibility based on those two coverages and what they're supposed to do? So to see how they pick it up. And for me, it's not always, I tell our kids, it's not always the best 11 athletes out there. It's the best 11 kids that play well together. So that's what we're looking for. And it's an opportunity for us to put some younger kids out there to see if they've matured and developed in a way that we think they have to be ready to compete on Friday night. So it's going to be fun. I mean, as everybody knows, I'm not a fan of 7-on-7. But one thing 7-on-7 does is it allows you to throw and catch and allows you to defend. So I'm going to go out there and look at it that way. The big negative for me is if our kids aren't as successful as they want to be, I don't want them to get down on themselves because that is not it's really not an evaluation of the football team you're going to have in August. So I try to keep that in their heads. It's a chance to go out there and learn to gel together, put a certain group out there to see how they mesh together and who plays well together from one side to the other, because you got safeties and corners that got to communicate. You got linebackers that got to know where they're supposed to go. Offensively, just going from a simple 2-by-2 coverage to a 3-by-1 coverage or a 3-by-2 coverage changes your route responsibility. Who can pick that up? Can you go out there and be successful? Can you make a big play? That kind of stuff. So I'm really excited about it.
All right. Good stuff. Anything else you want to mention today, Coach?
Yeah, let's thank those that make this show possible. Auto Glass Magic, Brenner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bond Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Henrik Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Peets, Harlan Funeral Home, Landmark Admin, MC Bank, Painter & Johnson Associates, Smith & Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right. We will be back here Wednesday to talk a little more baseball, softball, everything else going on. Maybe recap a little 7-on-7 from Monday night here on the Brownwood Lions Coach Show on KOXE, KOXE.com, the KOXE app, and the KOXE Facebook pages.
Good job. Have a great day, Brownwood.